Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! That is by Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the... We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. You found a way, okay? All right, now, what I tell you, okay? All right, this decade is going to be the decade of the Vols. You got me?
Reddit did to do and welcome into more important issues. I'm cracking up. It is Sunday, November 29th. We are back. Hopefully the Vols are. Little Funky Town lyrics in there. I didn't get it turned down all the way. And I'm cracking up for two reasons. The Roy Jones Jr. one.
Are you wearing draws?
And someone got confused on Twitter. We will answer the question. Someone asked if the Vols are going to cover the Florida score, and you said we will cover it, like we're going to cover it on the show, and someone thought you meant the Vols will cover it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I just read the comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's clear that up right now. We do not expect the Vols to cover this weekend.
Do you want me to redo the intro? Because I read that as soon as I'll... Reddit did to do and welcome into more important issues. It is Sunday, November 29th. I'm having a great weekend, stress-free weekend. I told Landon I didn't bet any on Saturday or Sunday. The Vols didn't play, so I'm feeling okay. I'm not going crazy here. I'm good, stress-free.
I'm up about $30 this weekend. So
that's good. Good. I mean, I'm happy for you.
Yesterday was just terrible. I had to go back and do some live bets to actually get my money back.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably bet around $30 and made about $1.60.
Okay.
That's profit.
Hey, Dave Ramsey, grinding, chipping away at the debt, chipping away.
That's what I'm doing.
Chipping away. I like it.
I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to buy the kids Christmas.
That's an important thing to do.
Yep.
We're buying Christmas here, guys. We want to thank you guys again for listening. We got a great show for you all. We are going to talk about the Florida game. That's this weekend. Well, I mean, we're not going to go in depth. We'll do that on Wednesday. We're going to make you come back for more. You don't get it all in one go around. We will talk about a little bit about this Tennessee roster. Of course, Jeremy Pruitt and what direction of the program. Is it his job? That's the question of the day. Is it his job to worry about the direction of the program?
Yeah.
He said it wasn't. I'm not speaking.
I read that, yes.
He was trying to go real hard coach speak.
Yeah, and it was a question about the fans.
Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't read the whole quote.
So, yeah, it was about, the fans being unhappy about the direction of the program. He's like, that's not my job.
Okay.
So I guess it was more of he was saying it's not his job to care what the fans think.
But at the same time, if the fans are happy, it means you're winning. So
Correct.
If we want to run circle,
yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
You get it. We got some recruiting updates. I hope you have the Friday night stats from the 2021 class prepared, assuming they're still coming to Tennessee, because very impressive stat lines from that crew on Friday night.
I got that.
Perfect.
I'll have that ready.
Will it get us amped up?
Yeah.
Awesome. And then we're going to talk about some basketball. Unfortunately, men's basketball, going to be take some time off, get some guys healthy. Women's basketball, though, got to win this weekend. Opener.
Did get a win.
Season opener.
Pretty big win.
Yeah, over Western Kentucky. So we'll talk a little bit about college basketball, Tennessee basketball. Then we've got our college football recap for the week. We're going to talk about some of the best games around college football. Ohio State, are they officially out of the college football playoff? I don't understand how they'd make it. Unless
But they're Ohio State, so...
Unless Notre Dame or Clemson falls apart, right? Because you've got to assume that you probably get 2 ACC teams in, right?
That's going to suck.
What are they in the opposite divisions? I don't know how it's set up this year. With
I think they will play in the ACC championship.
So it's possible. Still possible 2 teams get in then, if Clemson beats them, which they probably will with Trevor Lawrence.
Right. But then you got to ask, if... It could be the same thing for I don't know.
No, SEC. I don't. Well, possible. I guess.
I mean, you did like. What if Texas A&M?
Yeah, it's possible. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Take care of business.
Yep. Both on and off the field. Stay healthy. Win games. Do it. We're going to talk a little bit about high school football. State championship time in Tennessee. Talk a little bit about the semifinals and the state championship matchups.
Yeah, we'll do that. Also, go check out our sponsors, Hound Dogs, Tennessee Tap House, and Blue Water Climate Control. Go check out Blue Water Climate Control for all of your HVAC needs. It's getting cold. So don't...
It's supposed to snow on Tuesday.
Yeah, so go hit them up. You need to.
I wore shorts
We got a lot
today.
of listeners on Facebook.
I wore
right
shorts
now.
today. Big mistake. Big mistake.
Where'd you go?
Played golf.
Oh, did you?
I played golf in pants yesterday. Sweat. You know what kind of sweat I'm talking about. And so I went with shorts this morning.
Like swamp
Terrible
sweat.
idea. Yeah.
Nice.
Terrible idea to wear shorts today. All right, let's do it. Before we do it, ask questions. Drop them in the chat if you got them. I'm on Twitter. Landon's on Facebook. If we don't get to them right away, that just means you got to hang on. We have a special spot in the show that we will answer those if they don't get answered right away. So stay with us. And then Landon's favorite part, tell us where you're listening from. We're curious.
Where are you listening from?
I think we had someone. We mentioned Milan. Am I saying it right? We talked about this last week.
Is it Milan or Milan?
It's definitely not Milan.
Okay.
Because I've heard it.
Milan. Okay.
I think it's Milan.
I just don't like the way that sounds.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not against you living there. I just don't like the way it's spelled and sounds. Sorry.
Yeah, we had a listener from West Tennessee that liked that Milan shout out last week. So tell us where you're listening from. We'd love to hear it all across Big Orange Country. Let us know. All right, let's talk about the best players on this Tennessee roster right now. Because you know what? Right now, especially on the offense, I mean, defensive side of the ball, it's hard to necessarily misuse players. Mm-hmm. But offensive side of the ball, I think you're misusing some guys. I think you could list off a lot of guys that are on Tennessee's. I kind of tiered them 1, 2, and 3, ABC, whatever you want to call it, in terms of who I think are the biggest playmakers, guys who I think have made some plays this year for Tennessee, could make some plays. B's probably have made some plays. C's probably could make some plays with their speed and whatnot. So, I mean, let's start there. Who do you think makes the biggest impact on this Tennessee roster?
I think your best player, top to bottom, is Eric Gray.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's easy.
Yeah, it's got to be. And maybe you go a little bit more into that, and maybe it's Trey Smith. Mm-hmm. Trey Smith is probably your most talented player, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess impactful. I don't want to use that, but it's just hard to kind of gauge an offensive lineman's worth.
It's absolutely hard. You mentioned the word impactful. It's hard to say how impactful an offensive lineman can be.
Right.
That's the unfortunate part. I think you see that impact in terms of how the offensive line's progressed, but it can't be all up to him. But I think it's hard to point to stats and say, yeah, look how good Trey Smith's been for Tennessee. But on film, it's, if you watch a lot of Tennessee football, it's easy to note it. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's important to note guys like Trey Smith. But, yeah, I think Eric Gray, you're absolutely right, is top to bottom the best. I think Henry To'oTo'o has got to be in that class. He's a guy who potentially could at least start off the season, could be a All-American, probably maybe not in that classification anymore. That defense has struggled a little bit. But Henry To'oTo'o definitely anchors down that defense where they need some help.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Those are your two best players on offense and defense. Eric Gray, Henry To'oTo'o. After that, I feel like Josh Palmer is definitely up there. It's just
I put Josh Palmer in that first
anytime
group.
you need a big play, he's the guy that makes one.
I put Josh Palmer in that group. I think he has 400 yards receiving this year, and that's with a not very great quarterback.
Yep, 331 out of JG's 1,112 yards.
And then I also listed Bryce Thompson in that group, that first group for me. I know he's kind of been up and down, but overall he's kind of like Palmer. That when there does need to be when a big play comes his way, it seems like he makes it.
Yeah.
Kind of hard as a corner to always be making a big play. When you don't have a great corner across the ball from you, it makes it even more difficult. Teams will like to throw away from you. But overall, I mean, Bryce Thompson, tends to make. Did I say the right name? Bryce Thompson tends to make big plays for you when they come his way. So I think he's got to be listed in that group. I think after his freshman year, more of a roller coaster than he was, an even line, but still I think he comes up big when we need him.
Yeah, I think he's Tennessee's. He's definitely the best one in the secondary this year. That play he made in the end zone at Auburn is just one that you don't see a lot of players make.
Right. You did mention that secondary, so I'll kind of go to my second tier group, and that's Trevion Flowers. I think he could do more in terms of defending the pass for Tennessee, but I think he's been great in run support. He's kind of coming to his own, and I think I've got to throw him in there as an impactful guy. Maybe not as impactful as Henry To'oTo'o, Bryce Thompson on the defense, but he's an impactful player that I think has a long way to go.
Yep.
But I think he's helped Tennessee a lot this year.
I think another one of those guys similar to that has a ways to go, but has made a huge impact this season, and that's Kevon Bennett. 4.5 sacks. He's tied with DeAndre Johnson. A lot of DeAndre Johnson's was in that first game of the season. But Kevon Bennett's a guy that, when there's pressure on an opposing quarterback, it's usually him that gets back there.
Yeah.
So he's kind of been that guy. And we're talking about this a little bit, and, we mentioned the two guys, the two best players, Henry To'oTo'o, Eric Gray. Those two guys are sophomores.
That is the good news, and that's we'll talk about it too when we get into the Jeremy Pruitt talk. Mm-hmm. But it does kind of give you hope for the future, point you in the right direction as far as the roster goes. I still think there's more questions in the air about this program, but that does give you hope in terms of that. We'll talk about in the recruiting updates, about the guys what they did for their high schools this week, and that gives you hope. Again, Still a long way from where this program needs to be, but the roster is improving. And good. And a lot of these guys we're mentioning are younger guys.
Yep.
Which isn't good for the team right now, because that means
because then
you could be wasting a lot of scholarships there.
You don't want to blame, and not just sophomores, freshmen. I think Tennessee's the most talent. I don't think you can really argue with this. Is the freshman and sophomore class.
Yeah.
It's not the juniors, not the seniors. It's the freshman and sophomore class. That's where your talent really is on this team, and it's just unfortunate kind of how he started it, with COVID and everything, and a lot of guys were out. And I'm not trying to make excuses because everybody's going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody had to deal with that.
Absolutely.
But it really sucks. There was some holes on this thing on this roster that, maybe some freshmen were going to come in and make an impact and just weren't ready or developed enough to have a chance.
Yeah, and I think you can point to that in the first couple of games where you go, they didn't get to experience fall camp, they missed a lot of time, whatever. I feel like this point in the game, or in the season, you've played 7 games, you've had X number of practices. The young guys should be ready to, just as from what we can see on the field, just as ready as the guys in front of them.
Right.
That's the disappointing part for me when you talk about some of these young guys you haven't seen. And I'll go off the list of, a couple guys I listed in kind of that second group that they're not super impactful, but they have made some impactful plays. That's Jalen Hyatt, Velus Jones Jr., guys that I think should be getting the ball more and just haven't been given opportunities to be very impactful. And especially Jalen Hyatt. He kills defenses with his speed. Speed kills. Let him loose on some defenses.
Can't coach it.
Velus Jones Jr., when we've used him against Auburn, the most touches he's had all season and made some really, really good plays. I know he's only been with the team since January, February. A lot of that he didn't get to spend practicing. You got to use him, though. He's more impactful than a lot of the other receivers you have on the roster.
Right.
You got to find ways to use him. Then in just the kicking game, he hadn't been super impactful in the kicking game. The tough part about having a great returner is you're really only banking them giving you 1-2 touchdowns a season. It's unrealistic to expect them to score more. You expect them to get you in good field position when they can, and maybe a touchdown or 2 a season. That's it.
And most, especially SEC kickers, are kicking out of the back of the end zone.
Exactly.
So you're not getting an opportunity. Maybe in punts, but like you said, if you have a good returner, they're taught to not kick it to where you can return it.
They're trying to go away from him.
Yeah,
trying to go away from him. So I think find ways to really get him going on the offensive side of the ball. You mentioned DeAndre Johnson, another guy that's been good for Tennessee. that play against Georgia shouldn't have been ejected. Dumb call. Seems like maybe hard to bounce back from that moment for him. Hadn't been fantastic. Hadn't been terrible either since that moment. And then a couple other guys I want to mention, kind of get your thoughts on. That's Matthew Butler, a guy that I think is he a junior or sophomore?
Senior.
He's a senior? Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm way behind on him. And then Quavarius Crouch.
Crouch has struggled. I think he's going to be a good player for Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, with the lack of pressure we get on a quarterback, I feel like that puts him at a disadvantage because he's not a guy that's going to run with receivers. He's not a guy that when Kyle Pitts comes to Knoxville next week, you're excited to see that matchup.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, like I said, he's going to be a good player for Tennessee. He just struggled a little bit in coverage, but I think he has looked a lot better than Jeremy Banks has.
I do agree with that one.
Yeah.
Do agree with that one. Speaking of Jeremy Banks, and I know he was with the team before, that's a guy who doesn't come in until fall camp. And it's different being away from the team for a full year. Again, I realize he was with the team before, but it's still, you weren't with him. Mm-hmm. Why does it seem that he's gotten much more playing time than some of the freshmen who weren't with the team until fall camp?
It's a good point. I don't know.
I feel like that excuse is kind of...
Yeah,
Sorry if that one
and that's,
what is that?
You know, as a Tennessee fan, you know, you hate to hear those excuses.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily like we just heard them for so long with Butch Jones. Now when we hear one from Pruitt, we're just like, oh God, here we go again. I mean, but really, like, Tennessee fans are just sick and tired of excuses. We want to win football games,
and that's, you can say it's the unfortunate part for Jeremy Pruitt that he, you know, came into that situation where he shouldn't get the opportunity to make excuses, but it's also part of the job. You were hired to win. That's it. You should have known that coming in. You said it. You were going to be graded on your 3 games against Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. You knew it. So why should you expect anything less? We have a couple questions in here, and we'll definitely some of these we'll get to a little bit later, but I think this one's a great kind of segue into talking about Jeremy Pruitt and where he stands. Well, first, do you think Crouch needs to shift to the outside linebacker, or does Pruitt need to see another inside linebacker, I guess, before he does that, is your question, Chris? I feel like right now with your depth, Crouch has to stay at inside linebacker.
Yeah, and he doesn't really fit the prototypical outside linebacker either.
No, he's
definitely an inside line. He's built like an inside linebacker. He's just struggled in coverage, and it's because we're just not good in the middle of the field.
Yeah, linebacker,
and we don't get enough pressure to really put him in a good position to defend.
Right, the linebacking group has to do better, but you also we talked about all year. You can point to that star position and your safeties that can help you over the middle too.
Right,
and then getting pressure on the quarterback. When you vacate the middle of the field, you do that expecting to get pressure on your quarterback, and you just failed to do that too. So you need to do a better job.
I don't understand when you had Jeremy Banks and they were kind of splitting time, that you didn't try, like you said you needed a bigger running back, but you didn't even try to, at least on short yardage. It doesn't have to be
right
5-6 plays a drive,
especially if you're going to
run.
Especially if you're going to run the ball on 3rd and 1 every single time.
Exactly. Yeah.
if they know what's coming, just do it then.
I mean, if you trusted him last year as a true freshman to do that, why? That seems like an easy
I agree.
fix to me. And, you know, those freshmen, D. Beckwood, T. Hodge, you know, I know some of them have dealt with, I'm sure they've dealt with contact tracing and injuries and stuff like that, but we haven't really seen them. And D. Beckwood, he voiced his frustration on Twitter.
Yeah, unfortunately. You don't like to see that.
Yeah.
You don't like to see that. And I'm not bashing D. Beckwith. When I say you don't like to see that, that's one of those things that, again, when you get those public comments from players,
it's a domino effect.
It feels like maybe losing the locker room. Mm-hmm. This is a good question, too. This is also from Chris. Well, first, someone said, good news, the Salter is signing on my birthday. First off, happy birthday. I don't know when it is. I guess that's
December
signing
16th.
Day. Okay.
Yeah.
So happy birthday ahead of time. Then with the freshmen and sophomores looking at a year away from starting playing, does Pruitt get a free pass?
Wait, what was the question? I'm sorry.
This is it's about the freshmen and sophomores, and it says, with the freshmen and sophomores looking at a year away from starting/playing, does Pruitt get a free pass? I just can't imagine after the Arkansas and Auburn loss, if you don't pull the trigger then, unless you lose to Vandy, what does a loss to Florida or A&M look different in terms of firing Pruitt? So I don't know if it has so much to do with that. But, yeah, I think Pruitt just gets a free pass because it's, of all the things, it's year 3, probably because of COVID, maybe because of buyout. I just think everything kind of culminates. It sounds like Pruitt's going to be here in 2021, barring a shitstorm of things happening in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. A
good 2021 class coming in.
The Vanderbilt game is... It depends on when it's played, too. If it's the 19th, it's going to be after signing day. So, and most of these kids are probably going to sign because what's the point in waiting until February? They're not going to take visits anyway.
True. And I want to the things I said isn't how I feel in terms of I want Pruitt to stay, and I'm not also saying I want Pruitt fired right now. I'm just stating this is my belief of what will happen. I don't think COVID's an excuse. I think you've seen Vanderbilt fire Derek Mason. You've seen South Carolina.
Can be done. It's proven it can be done.
You've seen South Carolina fire Will Muschamp. So I'm not saying he shouldn't be fired because of COVID. This is just my belief in what the direction Philip Fulmer's taking with the football program. So I just don't see it happening. I think he gets that free pass.
I think it's, if you're going to do it, it probably already would have been done, or it's going to happen like this week. Because you can't really go into National Signing Day and then fire your coach.
I don't disagree.
And you don't want to do it the week before, because then that whole class is gone.
I didn't consider the early National Signing Day when you look at Vanderbilt and Derek Mason. They've got 2 weeks to get some. Now it seems like
they just got a 4-star defensive tackle too.
80% of your class is signing on early signing day.
Yeah.
South Carolina, you don't have a coach in place in 2.5 weeks. You're expected to sign most of your class. I didn't consider that when you're talking about firing coaches this year. And I'm not saying keep Pruitt for that reason. The 2021 class does look good. That's your kind of upside right now, your uptick you're looking at. But I just don't. That's weird.
But my thing with that, if that's what you're worried about is the future, then why haven't we seen a freaking quarterback change?
That too, and that too. And here's a couple things talking about Pruitt and what changes next year. Because again, I'm running with the assumption everything to me seems like Pruitt's going to be around next year. I don't, again, barring a loss to Vanderbilt or some other crazy crap happening, I just think Pruitt's probably here next year. That's just, I think, the fact of the matter. And it's a question to Philip Fulmer. It's a question, I guess, to fans that want to keep him. What changes next year? Because we're not, in year 3, you shouldn't be talking about beating the teams you should be, like Kentucky. In year 3, you shouldn't be going, maybe in year 4 you can lose by less than 31 to Bama. You can beat Arkansas. You can lose by less than 13 to Auburn, or less than 23 to Georgia, less than 30 or whatever the points are going to be to Florida. That can't be what you're talking about in year 3.
Right.
Year 3, this year should have been the year you're going, yeah, you may not beat Alabama. You probably don't beat Georgia, but you should be competing. Let's call it 2-possession game. Let's call it a game in the fourth quarter. Maybe gets out of hand at the end. Then we're probably fair. You just don't have the talent right now. Whatever. Yeah. But first off, you didn't even try in the Alabama game, and it's unacceptable.
It's true.
The Georgia game, sure, you had it close for a half, but it's not like the third quarter slowly got away from you. It was a disaster in the second half.
I mean, it looked like the worst thing that Tennessee could have possibly did was play the season. I mean, it really, it really does. When you look at, you already basically had a top 10 class just sitting there before the season even started.
Just don't lose it.
Yeah.
Just don't lose it.
And then, you go out and crap the bed. And next year, you're going to you should have a different quarterback, a guy that's not started. So that's a year when you're like, okay, we need to, he's going to be inexperienced. We might struggle at quarterback, but you're struggling at quarterback with a guy who's been here for 4 years.
And it's, again, something else that you're talking about year 3, unacceptable.
I don't know what the right decision is.
I like what someone said though. Vol for Law of 1998. If we're questioning if we're going to beat Vanderbilt or not, that should be your answer.
That's true.
I agree with that. I can't disagree with that. And I don't know how Pruitt can sit in his office right now and in meeting rooms. I don't know how Philip Fulmer can sit in his home office because he's quarantined. Get better, coach.
Battle captain.
I don't know how you can sit there and look at, maybe if you look at Vanderbilt this week, but that was just an absolute disaster. Yeah, look at Vanderbilt against Georgia or Florida. How can you sit there and confidently go, we're going to win this game?
How do you watch Vanderbilt this week and then you lose to that team that you saw that team play this week?
Yeah.
You lose to that team after they fire a coach? I mean,
yeah, that's unacceptable. That can't happen.
I might get fired after that just because. I mean, we might be.
Someone needs to get fired. Okay,
Billy and Bobby are just going to take our show away.
Someone needs to get fired. Yeah. Period.
They got to make an example out of somebody. It's probably going to be me.
Yeah, I agree in terms of the fact that you're saying that. Yeah, I can't disagree with that because I was thinking that same thing. What you just said before. I'm going. All right, what are my real thoughts on Pruitt before I speak into a mic? And at that point, it feels like permanent. I don't know what the right answer is.
Can't take it back.
Can't take it back. Screenshots live forever. I don't know what the right answer is, but I like that point. If you're questioning that, and not only if you're questioning it, it's on a James Franklin Vanderbilt team.
Oh yeah,
that at least had some talent on it and threatened you. Pat and Robinette with a pump fake. But it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. The state of this team, the state of the program right now is unacceptable. And I feel like when it gets to that point, sure, it could get worse. But why would you let it? It's already unacceptable. Why would you let it get worse?
That's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to I think everybody wants him to succeed.
Right.
That should be everybody's thing. Everybody shouldn't be like, yeah, I hope he loses, so we fire him. No, you don't ever want to want to lose.
Correct. I'm not asking him to lose to Vanderbilt to get fired. I'll say that.
Right, but
I would rather him beat Vanderbilt and be stuck with him for another year than lose to Vanderbilt and get a new coach.
The roster is no doubt in a better spot, talent-wise. But in 2017, that team was effing terrible.
That's kind of my point of cut him loose now, because why would you even risk getting back to that point?
Well, and you're not in 17. You didn't lose games like you are now.
Right. That's true too. Well, I mean, Georgia, you lost 41-0 in Neyland.
Right. But Kentucky, I know Jeff George was 6'6", but if he was 7'2", we would have beat Kentucky that year.
We also got 2 players ejected because apparently there's a rule that you can just flag everybody on the field for no reason.
Yeah, sure.
So I will give that benefit of the doubt there. But I mean, yeah, okay. So, golly, here's the thing.
You beat Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Pruitt lost to Georgia State.
I'm ready to get to that too. But my big thing about Jeremy Pruitt, and I think this was it was the eventual downfall of Butch Jones. The things that I talk about, like the assistant salary thing, I feel like kind of started the beginning and the end. Mm-hmm. I feel like him in the media seems like he's trying to make it. Why can he not just come out and say, we lost Kentucky? That's unacceptable at the University of Tennessee. We got blown out by Alabama. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter who. It's unacceptable. Why can he not just go, the way Jarrett Garantano is playing is unacceptable, but I believe in him and we're going to get him to that point? I feel like everybody would at least be like, he's trying. Yeah. Whereas right now it feels like he's just handing the job to the guy.
And it's like he backtracks in his press conferences. Like Saturday he'll say something and then Monday he'll say something completely different.
Yeah.
So like he's, dude, just say what you mean. Whoever the PR person, the one that's coaching him to do these speeches, should be fired. That should be the first, before me, that person should be fired. Because like it's literally like people keep comparing him to Butch Jones, and if you're getting compared to Butch Jones, you might as well just pack your bags because people don't want to see that again.
Right. Again, and it's the things you say and the way you say them. The 5-star heart thing. I think everybody that cheers for an amateur team, college football team, loves to hear we're trying to build program of better men also. Sure. But you can't say that when you got beat 41-0. The worst loss in school history. You can't say that crap.
No.
You can't. I mean, it's just yeah. The which again, I maybe read the quote wrong, but at the same time, it's still a matter of wins. I'm not supposed to worry about the direction of the program in the fans' eyes. The fans just want to see you win, so it is your job.
Right.
You can look at it in this big abstract circle, but bottom line, the graph points to win. It's that simple.
He's wording everything just so. Again, the PR guy, just a moron. Just word it like, my job is to coach the University of Tennessee, and I need to win football games. We need to worry about winning football games. No one cared. No one is going to be mad about that quote.
Just say it. Just say we're not winning, and we're going to do our best every single day to win. Just say it.
Just answer that with every question. Just answer it that way.
I'm just here to win football games.
I'm here so I don't get fined. Yeah.
Just say it. But you mentioned Georgia State. After 6, I said this exact quote. I think you agreed. After you won 6 straight, you asked me, do we forgive Jeremy Pruitt for the Georgia State loss? And I said, I forgive him, but I will not forget.
Exactly, yeah.
Georgia State, I forgave him. But I did not forget that you lost to that Georgia State team. So I'm not going this Kentucky win as an exception, not a rule. Or the Kentucky loss. This Arkansas loss is not an exception, not a rule. He's lost to, in the last 2 years, I know BYU, but you should have won it is the bottom line. So you lost to Georgia State, BYU, Kentucky, and Arkansas. And you might even be able to throw Auburn in that because you were up 10 at one point.
Yep.
4 terrible losses.
We're not even counting his first year.
In year 2 and 3.
Yep.
It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
And those 2 games that you lost this year, you can probably maybe go back to, I mean, you can't with Georgia State, but maybe BYU, you're like, oh, they're a good football team this year. We lost to a pretty good football team. Yeah, maybe you could argue about that, but Arkansas and Kentucky, your talent level is far better than theirs is.
And again, the BYU thing, it just bothers me because you had the game won. Yeah, that's what bothers me about that game. You had it won. You lost the game. They didn't win it.
And you had a chance to win it again in overtime.
And you had another chance.
And that was very similar. Like we had lost as soon as they tied it, we lost. It was over.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean,
we were done. It just like that team in 2018 when we went to Vanderbilt. It was over before the game started. We didn't want to be there.
And they played freaking USC's, South Carolina's, USC juniors. They played their dang song at kickoff. Yeah. They don't even know what team's playing. Sandstorm. That's the name of it. Yeah. Vanderbilt doesn't even know what team is on the field for them. And you got beat by them in 2018. It's unacceptable. The state of the program it's just unacceptable, and I agree. I feel like he's just got to go. A miraculous turnaround in year 4 has to happen. A miraculous turnaround. And I'm just not convinced it'll happen.
We have a question.
People aren't going to be happy with me, I don't think. I'm sorry.
David Bauer says, what if we hired Derek Mason as the defensive backs and Will Muschamp as the linebackers coach? Good Lord, how much
rehab,
pay them?
Rehab.
I mean,
head coach rehab.
How much is their buyout? Jesus Christ. I mean,
we'll pay the whole thing.
Yeah. Just come on.
Put it. Sign it.
We'll pay it.
Sign that contract.
I don't know. I just don't know how you. I understand like where the frustration is coming from, but like, and I want Pruitt to succeed, but damn, like the excuses and the JG is just like he's digging his own grave. I want to help the guy. Like I'm like, dude, just look me in the eyes. Let me explain to you what you're doing and how idiotic you look.
The JG thing is that's another thing I just can't look past. And I've said it. I get it. Practice. He's practicing well. But we're in week 7. At what point does the terrible game play negate what the hell he does in practice? I don't care how many touchdowns he throws in practice. If the answer is 0 in a game, doesn't matter.
And if he's looking that great in practice, that's on your defense.
That too. So, get some better scout team guys in there.
Yeah.
Go against your ones more often.
Or what if it is his ones? That's really on him.
God, dude.
I don't dude. Let me be his PR guy. Because Jesus,
don't sign me up.
Jesus, man, like it. Help yourself out.
They're dodging vol calls.
It's literally like our friend Brody. will steal our clothes and then wear it around us. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's
He's
like,
stealing
dude,
clothes.
It's like, dude, when you put it on, you're like, oh, I'm going to see Lana today. I better not wear that. Dude, just help yourself out.
We need to talk about that too. He has stolen pairs of underwear more often than it is okay to steal pairs of underwear. Like, I'll be at his house and I'll be, we'll like have gone to like the lake. I'm like, hey man, forgot a pair of underwear, can I have it? And he's like, yeah, these are mine that you just loaned me. That's unacceptable, Brody.
Like, all of my Carson Newman shorts, I probably had like 5 or 6 pairs of them. They're all gone.
Someone said,
I bet he has 4 of them.
probably. Someone said send him back to Bama. No, because he'll somehow be incredibly successful at Alabama. Again.
Yeah.
Don't send him back to Bama.
I mean,
I agree with the sentiment.
I think football-wise, the guy is there.
Yeah. There's no question about it. You don't go from an elementary school gym teacher / assistant football coach to an SEC program without knowing your stuff.
Right.
So I mean, to get here, he has to know.
And he's
stuff.
won everywhere he's been.
But being a head coach is far different than just coaching football.
Again, the PR guy.
The PR guy. John Harbaugh coached special teams before he was a head coach.
Yeah, he's probably fired too.
No.
Oh,
John.
Sorry. Yes.
Jim. I was talking about Jim Harbaugh. Which one's at the Ravens? Now I'm confused.
John is with the Ravens.
Correct. Okay.
Jim is fired. Jim is gone. He's gone.
Yeah,
Good Lord, that team is terrible.
Yes, they are. Sleeping in living rooms with high schoolers just doesn't cut it anymore.
Like, at least we got like
Power
10
5.
games where we could win a couple. They're getting, what, 5, 6, whatever Ohio State's getting.
And then they're getting that round robin.
They're going to
crap at
be
the end of the season.
0-6 or 0-7.
Hey, the Vols are bowl eligible, though. So is Michigan. If you're listening on the podcast tomorrow, you didn't get to see Landon's face when I said the Vols and Michigan are bowl eligible. So that was disappointing.
So is Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's bowl eligible.
Even after that terrible performance,
How many
on
teams
Saturday,
have fired their coach and been bowl eligible? Good week for and a female kicker. Good week for Vanderbilt.
I mean, since
That's the best week since 2011 for them.
the past couple weeks where we haven't had a game has been the best 2 weekends we've had since
these past couple
Georgia.
Saturdays have been amazing. Stress free.
No worry in the world. Just, I mean, you're sweating out overs
Yeah.
and unders, but it's not like
Couple dollars you're on the line. But.
right. It's like you did it to yourself,
Right.
which I guess we do it to ourselves every year.
No, I was born this way, and I blame my dad.
Okay, yeah,
I blame
that's fair.
my dad.
Somebody had something, and my dad was telling me about this. It's like if you're caught not wearing a mask, then you have to you have to buy Tennessee football tickets. And then if you're caught like after curfew, or if you do it a second time, you have to actually go to the games.
I like that. That's a good one.
That's so bad.
What happens when you don't wear the mask at the game? They make you play for the team? They make you back up
They
for
make you
JG?
go play for the Denver Broncos at quarterback.
That is an amazing situation. I can't wait to get into that. That blew
Dude, that's terrible. That was the worst game I've ever seen in my
The
life.
NFL. F the NFL. They're idiots. How are you okay?
I love that. I think somebody within the NFL tweeted, we haven't had a single game canceled this season. I'm like, you should have.
What? But wasn't the Titans and Steelers game? Are we gonna like really just again make these abstract circles and say that it was postponed? If it's pushed back more than like a week, I feel like that's canceled. And I mean, come on.
Postponed, man.
Someone said thoughts on Vandy firing Mason. I mean, who are they gonna hire? Is my only thing.
Yeah, like I saw an article about who they could hire, and it's like literally the same people for every job opening.
And they can't hire. Like the realistic thing is they can't hire him.
It's like will he?
Like they're not gonna get Jamie Caldwell.
No, it's Chadwell
That's
Yeah.
it. Caldwell. Sorry.
and Will Healy and
Yeah.
who,
Luke
Fickle.
Finkel.
Yeah,
They're not going to get him. So I don't even know why they're throwing their names in that. You know who they could get? Will Muschamp, who then could coach for his third team in the SEC, or SEC East. Fourth team in the SEC. Fifth. Didn't he coach at LSU?
I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
Making history.
I love it. Love it.
So, bottom line, I don't know if if I had to put money on it, I think Pruitt's going to be here next year. I just hope, because going into this season, we were excited.
I was very excited. We were on,
and I think we can both agree that we thought Pruitt was looking more and more like the guy.
Do I need to play the clip for you? Do I need to play it's going to be the decade of the Vols?
Yeah.
I mean,
we're all in.
I made an intro for it.
Again, PR guy, that was great. Decade of the Vols, we love it. When you're winning, though.
Yeah.
You can't say that when you're losing.
I'll say this. He was right. It has been, so far, it has been the decade. It's been a volunteer decade. It felt like the last decade. That was very much a volunteer decade.
The volunteers, like tears, like crying.
Yeah, I just mean like it felt like the volunteers were in control of this decade, like they were the last decade. Like you saw where it was going.
Yeah, it's just like
I think we should just rehire Derek Dooley.
We get rid of all the offensive linemen and just run with it.
I agree. Yeah.
All of our offensive linemen are going to be converted tight ends. It's going to be great.
Right. Someone mentioned. Someone said Landon. I bet they're going to run the option. Talking about Vandy. I would love it,
dude.
I would love.
This is about the option. People are just like, oh, the option works. Paul Johnson did a great job at Georgia.
Hot take.
Shut up. I freaking hate the option. That is the boringest offense in the world. Ain't nobody want to run that.
Hold on. Hot take. I think if they hire Jeff Monken, that would be a great hire for Vanderbilt.
Okay, yeah.
Just like
but like any.
But just like
Paul Johnson would also be a good one. Derek Dooley would also be a good one.
No, Derek Dooley.
It'd be for us. It'd be good for us.
I would love a Derek Dooley.
I think
his dad would do a better job than him, and his dad. We know. Yeah, rip.
What about Butch Jones taking?
I don't think he's dead. Butch Jones bringing him back.
I mean,
you're already paying him.
He was already hugged up with Derek Mason not too long ago. So
that's true. Good buddies.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about for Vanderbilt. I thought you were talking about Tennessee rehiring him.
Hell no. Vanderbilt.
So
did the option get the? Oh,
but that would be good for. Okay, but here's the thing about the option at Vanderbilt. Also, someone said touched a nerve. Landon played at Carson Newman, so he's really passionate about hating the option.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
Landon played wide receiver at Carson Newman.
Exactly. So it's not a great offense to utilize athletes.
Which Landon's not.
It's very limited. Like you have to be super. Like on offense, you have to be super limited on how you recruit guys. You can't recruit a Mekhi Becton from Louisville that was like 6'8", 325 pounds. Because what's he going to do in the option?
The cut block. Easy.
Who's he going to cut?
Yeah, it'll just be like a normal block. Good point. Okay, so Jeff Monken, I think it would be like hiring the freaking Pirate down at Mississippi State. He ain't going to win. He's never going to play for an SEC championship, but he may beat a couple teams he's not supposed to beat.
Like us?
Correct.
Damn it. Dude, I hate the... Oh, my God. It's so old. Like, grow up. Like,
just too old.
Grow up. Stop being stuck in the 1970s. Let's get out of...
No, I like
high schools that run that, I just hate them. I hate them so much.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's not... I mean... Yeah.
You're not helping any kid out running that offense.
Okay, pump the brakes there. It helps some kids.
Go to another... Like, they have to go to another option offense?
Not necessarily. But, I mean, yeah, there are still... They can go to a service academy. I don't know why you're mad about that. Service academies have to run it. That's the reality. Because of the restrictions. I think they lifted some of those. On, like, the player size and...
Yeah, they're all about the same size.
Right. So they have... Like, they're held to those restrictions.
Right.
But Vanderbilt's not.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's not a service... I know they got the anchor. They look like the Naval Academy, but they're not.
Yeah, no. Funny thing, Vanderbilt was never in the military, so...
But yeah, I hate the option offense. Sorry for anybody who likes it, but it's just
Someone brought up a good point. I formation is old, and so is shotgun. It's a good point. They are old. Football's old. Did you forget that football's pretty old?
Get that crap out of here. I want no part of that. If Tennessee ran the option offense, I would never be a Tennessee fan. Screw that.
Landon Tennessee fan after Derek Dooley and Butch Jones have
You know how many times we
the option is not going to send him away.
You know how many times we'd fumble the football? You know how many times JG fumbles now? Just imagine him running the option.
But he could fumble it into his teammates' hands. So that's a possibility.
Maybe he gains a couple yards every now and then.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah, no. I mean, I don't like the option for several reasons. It does, I mean, yeah. We talked about it last week. Go listen to that. I don't want to get into it.
Just slow. I'm going to score points.
Listen, Nick Saban said it himself. It's time for offense. It's time for football is starting to evolve. It's time for keep up or you're toast. So
it's like score. The Italians kicking and screaming.
Yep. Absolutely.
So you start Bailey against Florida. That's where I'm getting at.
Yes, but man, what a crappy situation to put him into.
Yeah, you suck. Yeah.
But you got to start him.
Yep,
you got to start Harrison Bailey.
You've had 4 weeks for him to get ready. You should have played him against Auburn. Really didn't until the game was over. So yeah, you got to
start him.
And it's again, if you want to sell to this 2021 class, hey, we're building something here. You got to get ready for the future. Sorry, the seniors. You can come back next year.
You can if you want to get.
So what does it matter? It's not like we're just dogging the seniors and wanting to get rid of them. I mean, I'm sure there's one person that somebody.
Here's the nature of it. If you're just not better, you shouldn't be playing. That's the situation.
That's true.
So that's true. That's the situation.
I mean,
let's get.
You want to win football games.
That's it.
Change something.
We're not here to make you mad or happy. We're here to win.
Yep.
That's it.
Just win.
You should be happy if the team's winning. If someone is unhappy, whether it's a fan or someone on the team is unhappy when you're winning, F them.
Yeah.
F them. That's my philosophy. If there's a player unhappy when we're winning because of playing time, because of how often they're touching the ball, F them. Senior year of high school, outside offensive lineman. People ask me if I'm mad. We're winning.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Now, when we started losing, it got sad.
Yeah, it's like, hey, can we just toss it over here a couple times?
But when you're winning, who cares?
Yeah.
You're winning. All right, recruiting updates. Let's get happy in here. I've been depressed for far too long.
Well, we do have some kind of bad news in that as well.
That's fair. Yeah, you're right.
So, Demarius McGee decommits from the Vols, opens up his recruitment. He's a 4-star cornerback. 247 has him in the top 100. Out of Pensacola, Florida. Looks like he's already got a crystal ball for LSU.
At least he's going to an opponent you won't play.
Yeah, but again,
you play him next.
If you win, you probably hang on to him.
2 years from now?
Yeah, 2022. You want to hang on to all these guys, you got to win some football games. I think another good thing about it is kids aren't able to take visits, really. So, I mean, that's probably a good thing in Tennessee's favor.
Right. It's harder to kind of go shopping. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we need a corner, like a lockdown corner, and I think he would be a great addition to this class, but got to find somebody to replace him. We do have some updates. So, Caden Salter, 4-star quarterback commit, did announce, I think as we started the show, that he'll be signing on early signing day on December 16th with the Vols.
Happy birthday, whoever commented that earlier.
Yeah, and that's huge.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Also, he had some pretty eye-opening numbers on Friday night. So he threw for 328 yards, 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers. Hey, receivers. Ooh. I know you heard that. Come to Tennessee.
Come play with Caden Salter.
And then Cody Brown, 4-star running back commit, rushed for 273 yards and 3 touchdowns on 42 carries on Friday night for Parkview.
And had a couple, those runs were big.
Yeah.
He's good.
He's big and fast.
He's a dog.
So, those are 2 guys, those are probably 2 of the most important guys in that class. And they seem, Caden Salter, going to sign here. Cody Brown seems pretty solid. A lot of these guys seem pretty solid. I'm sure a lot of that has to do with not being able to take visits.
Right.
But good for Tennessee for banking on those relationships to last this long.
I agree.
Because, I mean, when you're losing and guys are able to see other places, it's probably harder to keep this class together. So, if one good thing comes out of COVID, maybe it's this.
Yeah, it should be pretty hard to lose a lot of guys this year.
Yep.
Should be pretty hard. Any more stats from this week? I know a lot of guys are in playoffs.
Yeah,
Probably not a lot of games.
and then you have some guys that I think in Maryland, I don't think
Aren't even
they started yet,
They-
or maybe they started like a week ago or something. North Carolina didn't. They're not playing at all.
I didn't know that. Have they not played the whole season? North Carolina?
No,
Oh, wow.
nope.
Shoot. That's just a state over. I didn't realize that.
Kind of sucks. I mean, guys like Jalen Wright, Colby Smith, Isaac Washington. Those three guys didn't even have a senior season.
Could that help Tennessee? I hate it for those guys, but could it help
Yeah,
Tennessee?
maybe it helps. Maybe it helps.
I don't know. All right. Is that it for recruiting? Or you got anything else?
That's all I got. We'll have more updates. Probably definitely in the month of December. Definitely with early signing period,
Yeah.
we'll have all those updates. So stay tuned on Twitter and Facebook, and on the show.
Of course. Of course.
You got any questions?
Let's see. I think I had one more. Okay. I don't know. Here's one. How sick are you of the Saban coaching tree? In terms of coaches at Tennessee, I mean, it hadn't worked out yet.
Yeah.
0 for 2. Can't put Pruitt even in that draw. We don't draw. I wear draws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, how about Nate Robinson just getting absolutely knocked the crap out by YouTuber?
So, which one of the... I don't keep up to date with the Paul brothers.
It's
Is
Jake
that-
Paul.
Which one played football at Ohio?
Don't know that.
Is it Jake and Logan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not know that. Maybe Jake, because he seems pretty athletic.
That's the one that boxed?
Yeah.
Are you looking it up right now? I'm also looking up Saban's coaching tree. It's an interesting question. Are there going to be guys? How many guys have really panned out of Saban's coaching tree? I mean, I guess you could say Mark D'Antonio at Michigan State. I mean, Michigan State was a pretty good program. Would you call that successful? I probably would. I guess Jimbo Fisher won a national championship at Florida State. Kirby Smart, I guess you would say, panned out so far.
So Logan was at Ohio.
Okay.
I don't know if he played football though.
I thought he did. I thought I remember.
He went there
hearing
and
that.
he dropped out, but it just says he was majored in industrial engineering.
Sorry, incorrect. I thought he did. Okay.
But yeah, Nate Robinson got rocked.
Did you watch any of the fights? I didn't watch any of them.
I just watched
watched
Nate Robinson get knocked out.
I watched that replay. I did
Yeah.
not watch the fight though.
No,
and then I
no.
watched the awkward interview with Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, it was weird.
Very weird for. I guess it just happens when you get old. Mike Tyson just be like, "Yeah, I'm okay with the draw. Yeah, I'm okay with the draw."
I'm kind of disappointed we didn't see Mike Tyson's Tiger though.
It's very disappointing.
Yep.
Very disappointing.
So do you have any more questions?
That's all I've got that's dropped in right now. If you guys got them, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'll try to catch them. Try to. Other
Chris
than that-
Mann says, you two have no passion for Tennessee football. You sound like a couple of old people sitting at brunch, drinking coffee, talking about football.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to listen, but I appreciate you listening.
I
but
appreciate you
don't have
listening.
to.
I wouldn't say I don't. I wouldn't say I have passion.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
say
have
either.
passion.
Even though we spend thousands of dollars every year with tickets, tailgating, and
Whoa! That's not passion.
yeah.
You know what? That's fine.
We spend our free time talking about Tennessee athletics. That could be something.
You probably have more passion than us. Good for you. I don't care. I'm not gonna argue.
Got people from Dixon, Tennessee, White
Oh.
Bluff, Tennessee.
Yeah, we had Chris. You from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and then he said that was who was originally from West Tennessee. It is Milan.
Mylan. Okay.
It is Mylan.
Don't like the sound of that. I appreciate you listening, but I just me just looking at it, I wish it sounded like something else.
Milan is too fancy for me.
Millen. I don't know.
Milan sounds too fancy. I'm out of that. Sounds like tight jeans. I'm out. The only time my jeans are tight are when I'm fat.
Wait, what? Milan sounds like tight jeans?
Like people who live there wear
like
tight jeans.
Like fashion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking like...
Sounds like...
I thought you were talking like the Disney movie, Milan. And I was like...
No. Great movie.
It is a great movie. I was like, what
Not the
reminds
new
you
one.
of top pants?
Not the new one.
New one sucks?
I haven't seen it. I'm just
I haven't
guessing.
seen it either.
Because it doesn't use any of the original music. That's the best part of Mulan.
Does it have any music?
I think it has music. I haven't seen it. I don't know.
I mean, you act like you knew a little bit about it, but you...
I'm making absurd judgments based on a few facts that I know. Just like our friend Chris. Not on Twitter, Chris. You've been a great guy.
All right, well, yeah, Chris Mann does not like
He doesn't like us. That's fine.
Yeah, he doesn't
you don't
like
have
our
to
passion.
everybody.
Even though I'm just begging to be Jeremy Pruitt's PR guy. I don't know.
I also appreciate him saying that because I felt like I was yelling too much early on in the podcast. And
You
I was
weren't
like,
yelling
maybe-
enough.
I was yelling, turns out.
Yeah. I mean, what
didn't
do we
yell
need to do? Do I need to take my shirt off?
Yes.
Do we need to get full nude on this podcast to show some passion?
No. We
Just paint ourselves orange?
No, I've already painted myself green before, and I will not do it again. It actually was not that hard to get off. I would do it again. I lied.
You are green.
It's very green. I would paint my lips next time. It looked real weird. It would. It would feel terrible, but I think it would be worth it in the end.
You'd have some chapped lips after that.
Correct. So, worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it. Basketball, even though we don't get it right now.
Dude, having college basketball right now is literally like having Christmas with no presents.
It's going to... Oh, you know what's really going to suck, though, is next week when it's not on during the day. That was what was cool about Thursday, Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
It was, yes.
So it was on during the day. It was awesome. Not going to be like that. But whatever. So Tennessee comes back next Monday. Is that correct?
Against...
Or no, they come back the 12th
12th
against
against
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yes.
They'll host Cincinnati. Time to be determined. Whatever. We'll see.
I'm sure they're looking for some more games.
They've
too.
mentioned that Tennessee is looking for some games. Putting it out like high schools when they lost these football games. Willing to travel.
Yeah, but who wants to play Tennessee?
Yeah, unless you lost a game, what would you gain from it at this point?
Yep.
So it'd probably be pretty tough to reschedule. I don't know what Gonzaga's schedule looks like. Would they be interested in rescheduling?
I don't know. They're good.
They're very good. Very good.
You know what's great about... it sucks Tennessee's not playing, but Memphis is 1-2, and Kentucky lost to Richmond today, so...
I'm obviously excited they lost to Richmond, but they always lose a bad game early.
Oh, yeah, they do.
So it's like, they're still going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, really good. Not just, like, pretty good. Still really good. Lady Vols, like we mentioned earlier in the show, beat Western Kentucky on Saturday in their season opener, 87-47.
That 40 burger.
Yep. Play ETSU on Tuesday night. Love it. Love it from Kelly. I love it, baby.
I love it, baby. And they got West Virginia on the 6th, Texas on the 13th. Some big games coming up.
It's gonna be man. The Lady Vols should have a pretty good season this year too. I hope the men can get back to it. Just because, I mean, look at that roster.
Yep.
And, speaking of basketball, I think we do. I'm not saying we should plan for the worst, but I think we need to be prepared for if this season gets canceled, because I feel like it's trending that way. So I don't know what we're going to do to fill time, but I feel like we should do absurd competitions. I was thinking about this. Absurd things. But
stuff that still has passion, though, right?
Passion. Like, who can eat the most Krispy Kreme donuts in like a minute and a half?
Good God. We're going to be fat. It's already the winter, man.
I know.
It's sweater weather.
You fatten up. You fatten up to stay warm. Or, I don't know, like absurd things.
Okay.
Nothing that makes sense.
You do have a tendency to let people punch you in the face. So
I'm not getting punched in the face.
That's passion, man.
It is passion.
It's up to you if you want passion or not.
I think
the ball's in your court.
I think it's gonna be a while before I voluntarily get punched in the face again.
Okay. We'll be at be very, very deep into no sports.
Yeah. If we go until next March, like if we go, what did we go between like March and May last year? 3 months until sports came back. Probably June. If we go 3 months again, I'll get punched in the face on the show. I'll let you punch me in the face with a glove on, like a boxing glove.
Okay, yeah.
I'll let you punch me in the face.
Yeah.
We'll go like one of the smaller ones.
Okay.
So it'll hurt a little bit.
I'll just give you a jab. I won't rear back.
No, you can punch me. I'll let you punch me.
I don't want to punch you.
You can't.
I don't feel like I could ever get mad enough to punch you.
You don't have to be mad.
I know, but like, it's been a long time coming.
I want you to use passion, Landon.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. I need to use passion, okay?
You do. The, yeah, so, but I just think we should find absurd challenges. Well, I mean, you all tell me, like, what's
like
absurd?
We live right next to a football field.
Exactly.
Let's do some of that stuff.
I think we should, like, who can run the mile the fastest, but every beer you drink during the mile cancels out like 30 seconds. Like, something absurd.
What about a butt chug? How much time does that take?
I'm asking for you, not me. I'm not experienced in that field. I can't speak to that. Yeah, I don't know. Just some stupid challenges. I don't know.
I'm down. I'm down to do that anyway.
Okay, that's fine. We just can't go that long without anything to do. So we're gonna have to be creative.
We done it before. We can do it again.
Last time was hard. I don't know if I can do that again.
It was difficult, but
I didn't like it.
We did it.
We'll have to get Chad back on the show for sure. Well, you know what? I'll take that back. Y'all enjoyed Chad. We'll get Chad back on the show even if sports are here.
And we both get to punch him in the face.
Yes. We even at the same time. We even have a chair for him this time.
That's true. Yeah.
So we'll bring him in studio.
That's a pretty expensive chair. I don't know if
He's not gonna break that chair. That's a big chair. That's for a big guy. It's a big guy chair.
Maybe he'll bring his own chair.
Hey, come over tonight. It's Bring Your Own Chair Tuesday. Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a great time.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
We need to figure out what we're doing for the game on Saturday.
We do. I was actually gonna ask you about that before. I guess we'll talk about it after.
Okay.
I'm prepared to be really, really sad. So
for basketball season or for
football.
Saturday? Okay.
Yeah, for Saturday. I'm sorry. That was very passionless.
Dude, I love that we were about to get into basketball to take our minds off football a little bit, and then
because we care,
we have passion. It was right where the season was supposed to start. You're like, oh yeah, we got a good basketball team. We're gonna be good. Canceled. Just 2020. Just loving it.
Chris said you ought to do the Krispy Kreme challenge. Run half a dozen donuts, and then run half a mile or a mile and a half. So
we do have some tackling dummies out there too.
We need to be able to we can do a lot.
I can demonstrate why the option sucks and how easy it is to defend.
I can't say what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, 2 plays, right and left.
Faked up the middle, right or left. That's 3. Fake up the middle and then right or left. So you added 2. You added that's 4 total. Yeah. And then you have up the middle. That's 5 total. You have 5 plays in the option.
And then maybe a slant every now and then,
or a go. Megatron played in the option. It's called save and tread on the tires. Okay.
That's literally what happened. And who else? Demaryius Thomas also went there.
He did. But it's because they're deep threats. Like that. That's what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
Is get them in man-to-man situations and beat their guys over top.
Yeah, it's like if they're catching the ball, 90% of the time it's going to be a touchdown.
I like those odds any day.
They're like, you're only going to catch like 10 balls this season, but 8 of them are going to be for touchdowns. They're like, all right, sign me up.
You're saying I only have to try on 10 plays? Hell yeah. No, I love it. I love that. I'm a big option guy. I'm a big fan of the option.
Are you really?
Fans. Chris said, "Let it go. Give in to the option." I'm with Chris. Come to the dark side.
I'm not giving in. I hate the option. I'll never give in. It sucks, and I hate it.
All I heard was I hate the American military.
That's not true at all. If you run,
tell Jeff Monken thank you for your service right now.
Thank you for your service, but
I don't know if
you could do better.
I doubt he's.
I expect more from you.
We're talking about football in case you just joined. Let's be clear about that.
Right, yeah, I'm not talking about your service that you're giving. Just that I expect more on the football field. There you go. Sorry.
The option's fun, okay?
And also
Make football fun again.
Also, Jeff, if you want to go to Vanderbilt, that's fine, but I'm gonna hate you even more. So that's on you. Ball's in your court. That's passion.
Passion, baby. Chris said, and Johnson was known to run 4 verticals from time to time. Here's my hot take, though. That's what I hate. Coaches that run, and then the only pass plays they do is 4 verts.
Yes.
Seen that all too often. Too often. So, I'm out. I'm out on that. All right, you have anything else for basketball? We strayed so far away from basketball.
We did.
We went to stupidity, our own. Mm-hmm. Back to football, back to option.
I have a Google up of Jake and Logan Paul. Why? Just why?
Oh. Yeah, we should get you Googling random things more often.
Big Google guy.
Big Google guy.
Forget Bing. Bing sucks.
Yep.
Go Google.
All right, so we'll run through since we don't have any more basketball, we'll run through the Lady Vols next little bit of the schedule. ETSU on Tuesday, December 6th, they play West Virginia. Then they go to West Virginia, and then they go to Texas, play Jackson State and Lipscomb. That's all before SEC play. Also, you need to check out Volunteer Roadshow for all your Lady Vol news. Alexis Hornbuckle doing post-game shows.
Yeah, love it.
Love it, baby. So make sure you check that out. And men's basketball will be back soon. Keep up with us. We do it. We're ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready for.
We need something.
I cannot wait to see John Fulkerson take away scholarships.
It won't
On
be
the
till
court.
March because we'll have baseball. Hopefully.
I propose a new SEC rule that if John Fulkerson dunks on you, you should be taken off scholarship immediately.
Yeah.
I propose that new SEC rule.
If you lose John Fulkerson, you
Because of the
should
COVID year, you just lose that free year eligibility. Yeah.
So, what's Kentucky? I mean, Kentucky just has freshmen anyway.
No teams.
so-
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They just graduate them all.
Yeah.
That's why Kentucky always has freshmen, actually.
Because of John Fulkerson.
Because of John Fulkerson.
Good point.
I love John Fulkerson.
He's
just
changed the game of college basketball.
Right. Not just because of basketball, but also because of the awareness of pals that he brought to Middle East Tennessee.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love pals.
Yeah, me too. And I love East Tennessee. Best of both worlds. I hate that at one point he did go to Dobbins Bennett. Hate that for him. He grew up, though. We all make mistakes when we're young.
He's made up for it, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
You forgive him. You don't forget it, but you forgive him.
Absolutely. All right. College football recap. Let's do it. Let's run through some of these top 25 games. If you like any, stop me. Notre Dame. Number 2, Notre Dame. Number 19, North Carolina. Notre Dame wins this one 31-17. Covered. I really did. Part of me expected. This felt like the Notre Dame implode game because North Carolina could score. Turns out they could in the first quarter. Both teams could score in the first quarter. Don't know what happened there. If you bet that over, I'm so sorry. It looked. I mean that. I didn't bet it. But I stopped.
Live betting in the first quarter, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna destroy that over.
I stopped watching after the first quarter. I had somewhere to go, but I stopped watching after the first quarter because I thought it was gonna hit. I thought it was gonna hit.
What was the line like?
Line was 5.5.
5.5. Yeah, that's right.
Landon's favorite game to talk about. Number 13, Iowa State. Narrowly escapes Texas.
I'm done with the Big 12.
Narrowly escapes Texas. 23-20.
I did it again.
You bet on you? Oh, you did. Oh, you bet on Texas.
Well, they were in my parlay, but
I'm gonna be honest. I chose Iowa State money line, but I was really rooting for Texas because Landon, after Texas went up 10, I think they go up 10-7. In our group text, put Texas forever. So I was at that point. I was like, I gotta root against Landon.
Dude, Tom Herman should be fired after that game. I don't care if Iowa State's ranked 13th in the country.
Who the hell said Tennessee should have Tom Herman on their short list?
Somebody said that.
I mean, I don't know if somebody credible said it, but somebody said it. I saw a tweet.
Were they serious or were they asking a question?
Good point. Either way, you said it.
Yeah,
it came out of your mouth.
Right.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah, you thought it. Yeah, that's terrible. That was one of the worst in-game coaching experience I've ever seen in my life. It was terrible.
And then Dicker the kicker almost saved him. Almost. Well, it would have gone to overtime, so still could have lost it.
It was almost as bad as Syracuse. Did you see what happened to Syracuse?
No, I didn't.
Their fail of the week, so I'll get to that.
Okay. Matt Campbell, though, that guy, big programs should be willing to offer him all the money in the world to come coach for them.
Yeah, I mean, he would probably be on Tennessee's list.
I would hope that Tennessee would be prepared to. If you're willing to pay Jeremy Pruitt $4 million a year, why not Matt Campbell $6 million? He's actually won things at Iowa State
As a head coach.
Yep. Number 15, Oregon, upset by Oregon State, 41-38.
The Beavs
in the what do they call it? The Civil
War.
I don't think it's Civil War. They call it something.
I think it is.
It's not the civil conflict. That's UCF and UConn for some reason.
I thought it is the Civil War.
Is it? We made fun of that rivalry. I just don't remember what it is. Nebraska. Still not good. Drops this one 26-20 to number 24, Iowa. I like Iowa this year, man. I like their offense. Got a little offense production going. I appreciate it.
Love to see
Appreciate it. Number 1, Alabama keeps on rolling 42-13 over number 22, Auburn. Tennessee is bad, and more news. It's very clear. Number 3, Clemson 52, Pitt 17. Guys, glad we didn't have a show on Wednesday. You would have lost on these locks of the week. Auburn covering and Pitt covering were my locks of the week. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I can admit it. I did pick App State, and they won. Or they
Broke a
covered.
rule, man.
Do what?
You never go against Alabama.
Connor even said, I'm not going to bet against Clemson or Alabama.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I won't do it.
And I even agree. I said, I understand. I just feel like in a rivalry game, they should cover 22 points.
And Notre Dame's getting there this year for me. It's just like,
okay, no.
I'm not betting against them.
I'll bet against them every game, and it's going to pay off eventually.
You're going to lose some money.
I'm not losing. It's going to pay off eventually is my point. Eventually. Number 5, Texas A&M over LSU, 20-7.
Gross.
Number 6, Florida, 34-10 over Kentucky. Kentucky looked terrible in that game.
It was close at halftime. It was 14-10.
Their offense looked terrible.
Yes, they did.
That's what I should say.
And Kyle Pitts, he has to be in the Heisman race, right?
Probably.
I mean, good God. I'm not looking forward to seeing him in Knoxville.
I'm not excited, especially because we can't cover over the middle at all.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's licking his chops.
Yeah. Michigan State, 29. Number 8, Northwestern, 20. Row Northwestern. Michigan State does not look good this year.
No.
Row. Good for them.
Since Northwestern threw 43 times. That's got to be a record for them, right?
Dude, they used to grow their 4 years ago. Used to grow their grass up like 3 inches. Yeah. Like a freaking rural high school out here, trying to slow teams down, trying to slow the read option teams down. Number 9, Georgia, 45.
Did you say?
Huh?
What high school did you say?
Rural.
Oh,
not
at least said
rural.
rural, and I was like, well, I don't know. Cherokee definitely did that.
Yeah, yeah, you got it. Number 9, Georgia, 45. South Carolina, 16. Until they got a quarterback who could freaking sling the ball, and then they cut that grass as short as they could. Number 12, Indiana keeps on going. 27. Maryland, 11.
Dude, they're huge for me this weekend.
Yeah, I mean Maryland with Tulia Tagovailoa, they're not bad. I stayed away from that game because I just did not. I wasn't willing to bet against him.
He had 2 touchdowns that he just missed. One was turned into a pick. One was on third down in the end zone. That the dude was just butt naked and just overthrew him.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yep.
This one should have been my lock. I apologize. It should have been. If you listen to this podcast every week, you know, though, it should have gone without saying. The number 20, Coastal Carolina, shots. 49, Texas State, 14.
Almost picked that game, but I didn't. I stayed away.
It was a lot of points.
Yeah.
A lot of points. Number 23, Oklahoma State, 50. Texas Tech, 44. Did you take the over? It couldn't have been 94.
I don't do the overs in Big 12 anymore because I've been burned twice.
Come on. In that game, yeah, no, I agree. I don't do it anymore either.
Well, Oklahoma State hasn't scored over 35 points, I don't think, this season.
Oh, well.
They
did
run
the ball.
They did against Kansas. That was it. But
they do
everybody's scoring that much against Kansas.
Gotcha. Couple SEC games that weren't in that mention. Missouri 41, Vanderbilt 0. You know the headline of that game. Ole Miss 31 to Mississippi State 24. Going back. Okay, Egg Bowl. Going back to that Vanderbilt game. Elijah Young
Love it.
out of Southwell High School. He looked like the best running back on their roster.
4 rushes, 52 yards, long at 35. He's quick.
Ran it between the tackles well.
Broke some tackles.
Got it on the outside, looked good. Larry Roundtree did go for 160 yards
He did.
against Vanderbilt. Sorry, I
was hoping they were going to give it to him.
I got
near the
local
goal
happy.
line.
I got local happy.
I was hoping they were going to give it to him where he could get his first touchdown.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I mean, everybody else is scoring, so why not?
Chris mentioned Penix got hurt in the Indiana game. I missed that.
He did. Yep. That's why I was worried. I was like, dang it.
Oh, you were worried during the game, not before the game about that.
Yes.
Gotcha. You always sweat it out. You got to sweat it out a little bit. Nothing comes easy.
Because that was the game, like, he would have crushed, like, 3 of my parlays.
Yeah.
If
That's tough. Oh, you had that one in the bag. Wow, you had way more trust than I did.
Indiana was a lock.
Nice. Good
I
pick.
learned my lesson. Two teams in Indiana that I bet against, like, the first couple weeks. Notre Dame and Indiana. Both those proved me wrong, so, hey, I'm rolling with them this
I like
season.
it. I like it a lot. All right. High school football. Unless you want to mention any other games, college football recap, that's just mine. If you got anything else you want, go for it.
I'm good.
Perfect. High school football. We'll start with the sad news, guys. Southwell High School has been eliminated from the 5A TSSAA playoffs.
Great season.
Great season, great run. It's great to be a Southwell Cherokee.
Yep.
That's all I know.
Yep.
It's great to be a Southwell Cherokee.
Lost to a good Oak Ridge team, which... Have you been to Oak Ridge?
I've long time ago before they got the turf and the Jumbotron. Is it a Jumbotron?
Yeah.
Before that, but always been like a nice facility.
Super nice.
Yeah, always been a nice
Super
facility.
nice.
Obviously now the upgrades make it even better. So.
Yep. So semifinals matchups, you had Alcoa against Red Bank. Alcoa wins that 42-7. I think they've only given up 20 points. I think that's right. 20 points in the playoffs so far.
Who's that?
Alcoa.
Alcoa has? Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Dude, their game was over before 9 o'clock on Friday.
Yeah. Then you had Oak Ridge advance to the state championship over South Louisville 14-0. South Pittsburgh 42 over Cofield, nothing.
Someone told me that South Pittsburgh team is nasty.
I've heard that.
Nasty.
Elizabethton beats Nolensville 56-21. Meigs County 16. Trousdale County 13. Oakland 49. Maryville 7.
How good is Oakland?
They got some studs.
Their defense must be filthy.
They got Jordan James. I think he was at Brentwood Academy, and now he's at Oakland. Isaiah Horton was, I think, at Innsworth, and now he's at Oakland. So they just have a ton of
Makes
firepower.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Got some studs. Then you have West Tennessee of Brentwood over Bartlett, 24-14. Fayetteville over Lake County, 38-24. Haywood, 17. Lexington, 14. Milan, 27. Pearl Cone, 13. That's got to be an upset.
That is. You said it a couple weeks ago. Pearl Cone and Alcoa for the state championship.
That's huge.
Milan taking on Alcoa. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry, Milan fans. That's a great run. It's a fantastic run. I'm not taking anything away from you. But I believe that run has come to an end.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
You get to go to Cooksville?
Yeah. I'm a big
Cookville. I said
ALCOA. It's fine. Big Alcoa guy. But I wouldn't hate to see old Milan knock them off.
It'd be interesting.
It would be. Keep things on their toes.
You gotta have some offensive firepower because that defense is nasty.
It's gonna take a lot.
Then you have Summit over Henry County 35-21. The matchups starting on Thursday night, you have Division II 2A Lipscomb Academy versus CPA. Then you have Division II single A. University School of Jackson. I think it's right. Yeah, University School of Jackson
USJ.
versus Davidson Academy. Then you have Division II 3A Macaulay versus MUS. Friday, you got the 3A matchup, Alcoa versus Milan. I still want to say something else. Then you have 1A South Pittsburgh versus Fayetteville. 5A, you got Oak Ridge versus Summit. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Oak Ridge has got a really good defense. Summit's got some firepower. They got Keaton Wade, who's a 4-star quarterback. His brother, I can't think of his name. Anyway, he's a Wade. He plays linebacker for them. I think he's a borderline 3 or 4-star. Then you have Elizabethton versus Haywood on Saturday for the 4A matchup. 2A, you got Meigs County versus Peabody. And then 6A, Oakland and Brentwood. Walker Merrill in that one.
Yeah, that'll be a good game. All the games are on TV. Make sure there's gonna be some good matchups in the playoff or in the state championship. Yep. Sometimes, and you'll probably even get some imbalance this year, but there's gonna be some good games. I'm gonna keep an eye out on the Oak Ridge Summit game, Oakland Brentwood specifically, and then Elizabethton and Haywood. Elizabethton going for 2 straight. Love it. Someone mentioned, USJ is the high school that Trey Smith went to.
Yes.
So.
And I think, was Rusty Bradley there?
Yes, I believe he had a brief time there. Yeah.
While Trey Smith was a senior, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't know that. Sweet. Well, good deal. Anything else about high school football?
That's all I got.
All right, let's go to questions. These are questions we got before the show. If you have any more, though, drop them in the chat. We'll get to them. Till then, you got any questions?
Yeah, the first one I got is Walter Raypig says, when they get hammered by Florida by 30+, will they fire Pruitt Sunday morning? If not, when are they going to fire Gump?
Man,
after a loss to Florida, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, again, I'd like to reiterate, this is not my opinion. This is not... Logically speaking, I don't see it happening after this week.
I don't see it happening, period.
I got to say, barring a loss to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that's true.
I hope.
I just have a hard time thinking we lose.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't think
if you lose to that Vanderbilt team, your program is
rock bottom.
Yeah, it's
doesn't matter where the roster is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. I don't think Tennessee loses to Vanderbilt. I'm just saying, barring a loss to Vanderbilt, I don't think Pruitt gets
Gotcha.
Fired. Yeah.
Or a scandal.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the only question we had.
Maybe we need. I won't say need. Well, yeah, we'll see.
That's the only question I had.
That's it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That was a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Dude, that cracked me up. I'm sorry. I hate that.
Oh, we do have some more. Sorry.
I hate that I read that right when the show started, but it was hilarious.
So was he the one that said that?
Yeah, he was like, cover.
Yeah, we're not going to I don't have them covering.
We're definitely not going to cover 30+ points or whatever he said.
No, definitely not. Well, we might cover 30+.
Dude, that Florida, they're just not going to throw to Kyle Pitts.
Well, we have a different quarterback. I'm not saying we're going to win, but
we're not going to have a different
quarterback. You should at least cover 30. Please,
we're not going to have another quarterback, though. That's the thing. I'm not saying we shouldn't. It's just what's going to happen.
Christopher Nichols says, now that there are 2 SEC schools that have fired their coach, both defensive-minded coach, do you think UT makes a move before signing day, which is in a few weeks, to salvage the class? I think that's part of the reason why Pruitt is here next year.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, and I kind of forgot. I knew that early signing day obviously came in December, but I kind of forgot the timetable and what the turnaround would be. So I have a hard time believing he would get fired now. It would have had to happen 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and if you're not going to fire him after, because all those kids are going to get out of that.
Right. And then you're really stuck.
Yeah, letter of intent.
Because then you have a lot of kids that maybe another coach could have brought with him or flipped that have already signed.
Yep.
So that would have been really tough.
And then Christopher Nichols, at this point of the season, who are your MVPs, LVPs of this team? Least valuable player.
Oh, least valuable. I don't know if
I think most valuable, I think we can probably both agree, air grade,
yeah.
Toto, offense, defense. Least valuable, it's just the quarterback position in general, and it just happens to be the guy starting there every week is JG.
And then I might say, if we got to go defense side of the ball, I'd probably say pass rush.
Yeah.
Just pick a guy, pass rush.
Yeah, the defensive front in general just hasn't been that great.
Right.
And we have, I mean,
They've been they've been okay in run defense. I mean, maybe teams have just been able to throw all over you. That's why, but they've been okay in run defense.
but the defense, they've gotten off the field when they needed to. They've played good enough to win in just about every game.
There's been some third downs in some games.
Oh yeah, we're not great on third down.
Yeah.
But I think in general we don't get enough turnovers. That's one thing.
I think the defense would be a lot better this year if the offense could sustain drives. Yes.
Correct.
I
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah. All right. Most important of the week.
Oh, we got one more.
Oh, one more question. Then most important.
Moody Al Vol says, "What's up, guys? Is Vanderbilt firing Mason put pressure on UT? If not Freeze, who would we go get if we get rid of Pruitt? I'm of the opinion let's give him 1 or 2 more years. Thanks." I mean, I think he's gonna.
I think he gets at least one more year.
Yeah.
I think South Carolina would put a lot more pressure on you than Vanderbilt. Like, I don't think Vanderbilt would make you waver at all in who you have.
No.
I don't think you're going to be going after any of the same targets.
Because it's the fact that it can be done at another school.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, the buyout's one thing. You know, you're going on a year where you're losing a ton of money.
Vanderbilt's probably budget's about the same.
Right. But they also have doctors and donors that can just...
Yeah, I just mean, like, they're not being affected by ticket sales.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
So, yeah, I think South Carolina definitely affects you more in terms of the people you'd be going after. You'd hope Tennessee's on a different level, but they're just not. Mm-hmm. And then who would Tennessee get besides Freeze? I don't know. Who would Tennessee fans be happy with besides Freeze? In terms of what I've seen on forums, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, or actual Vol fan forums, I don't know who they'd be happy with. Because if you don't get Freeze, I feel like your next best bet is getting an up-and-comer.
Yeah.
And Vol fans probably aren't going to be happy with that. And I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I just don't think they're going to be. At least in the short term, maybe long term. If it pans out, obviously they'd be happy.
But I mean, what's better, to have a head coaching job at a lower level school or to be a defensive coordinator at a Power 5? I don't know, I feel like a head coaching job is better than a...
I think it certainly depends on, like, it probably depends not only on the place you're at, but also the type of coach you are, because there's going to be guys who are probably better. They have the ability to be a coordinator at that higher program. Whereas, like, a guy that's a head coach has had to work his way from, he's gone from a Division III school or a FCS school, and then I don't know the exact route, Jamie Chadwell's taken, for example, to get to Coastal Carolina, but there could be different routes that got him there. Or maybe his first job was an offense coordinator at Cincinnati, and then he gets promoted to head coach. So I just think it depends on the person. Because a lot of guys can go from position coach at Florida State to the offense coordinator at Florida State. So I think it's just trajectory. I don't think there's one that's necessarily, like, in terms of how to climb the ladder, that's just outright better. I think it really more depends on probably where you start.
Yeah. And like you said, what school you're at.
Yeah, that affects it.
Where you are in the process, and just like where the program you're going to is at.
Yeah,
what are they looking? Are they looking for a defensive minded coach? Are they looking for an offensive guy? Or are they just looking for a guy to run everything?
Right. And a lot of people talk about wanting to get offensive minded coaches. Here's the thing. Here's my personal opinion. Get a coach that can facilitate wins.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what side of the ball he's on. Because, great, if Hugh Freeze is this brilliant offense, I'm not debating whether he is or not. I'm saying if he's a brilliant offensive mind, but he can't facilitate a good defense, you're not going to win anything significant.
Right.
Like, that's the difference between a guy like Nick Saban. He's not necessarily an offensive guy. He's traditionally a defensive guy. But he's been able to facilitate a great offense. That's what separated him from the rest.
And he's adapted.
Right.
We can talk about how old Nick Saban is, and he's stuck in his own ways. But I mean, the dude, like, a couple years ago, that offense, he had a game manager at quarterback and ran the football down your throat with massive running backs. But now he's throwing it all over the field.
Yeah, and then you look at guys like Jimbo Fisher. He's won a national championship, and as much of an offensive mind he is, he's been able to facilitate really good defenses. So I don't think it's about. So I don't think it's so much about offense or defensive minded. It's like it's at the head coach position. Can you facilitate good offenses and good defenses?
I think a part of that is not micromanaging.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like facilitating doesn't mean micromanaging. It means allowing people to work. I'm allowing people to do what they do and within their own strengths. And I don't know if that, my opinion, that's not happening at the University of Tennessee right now. And that's what's hurting Jeremy Pruitt, in my opinion. Now, I think some of that could certainly be to fault of the offense coordinator. Maybe he's not living up to his best. But I think a lot of it looks like he's not. It just looks very different than his first stint at UT and his stint at Georgia. It looks very different.
I just think...
And Pitt. Even Pitt, he turned Nathan Peterman into a quality ACC quarterback. And I understand the ACC isn't a great conference, but how does he go from a guy that can barely...
Beat Clemson.
Beat Clemson. Like, how did... Again, it's just... I just have a hard time believing there was just this massive drop-off the moment he came back to Tennessee.
Yeah, I agree.
And a lot of people want to go, well, Georgia, look at how happy Georgia fans are that he left. Is that not any school? When they leave, you're like, good, we didn't want him. Like, who's been crying when a coach voluntarily leaves your program?
Yeah, no.
It doesn't happen. Oh, whatever.
I think what Tennessee we've tried the up-and-comer route, and it just hasn't worked out.
Well, see, I don't think we have. Butch Jones was riding the coattails of Brian Kelly. Like, he took over a really good Cincinnati program that Brian Kelly facilitated. Derek Dooley was terrible at Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think Tennessee's tried the up-and-comer.
So
I think Tennessee's missed.
What about Kiffin? He was an up-and-comer, though, right?
He had an NFL job, though, to be fair. But I think Kiffin, might have been on probation, but I think he would have won a lot of football games at Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
I just personally would like to see us maybe like a Matt Campbell. I think that would be a name that you could. Luke Fickell, he's not Power 5, but I think he's won enough. It's not like
I think you'd have to consider Luke Fickell as an up and comer. It's mid-major, hadn't won anything significant.
That's true.
I think you'd have to mark it as an up and comer.
But I think there's a difference maybe than him and Jamie Chadwell.
Yeah, probably. Cincinnati's been a little.
And
more
I don't
consistent.
hate either one of those guys. I think they'd be.
It's different football though.
Good. I don't want to say good options, but an option.
No, I would not be disappointed. Now, I would be disappointed if Tennessee had this short list that,
So Greg Schiano's off the table, right?
Yeah, Greg Schiano. Like, I'd be disappointed if it was you just didn't have any other guys on your short list and immediately went to Fickell and Chadwell. Like, I would be disappointed then. You look around, fill your options out. If Pruitt was to be fired today. But I wouldn't be. The only issue with Jamie Chadwell is that he really just started winning this year.
Yeah. I think my thing is nobody that is at a current program that hasn't won. Like, Gundy, he hasn't won anything.
No.
He wasn't somebody that was just like, oh, yeah, I really want
it was my same take with Mike Leach. Like, yeah, great that he won football games, but part of winning football games is winning big football games. He never even won the conference.
No.
Division. He never won the division.
Right.
So it's like, winning football games is good, but you also got to win the big ones. You get graded on what, Mr. Pruitt? Alabama, Florida, and Georgia, the big ones. You got to win those games.
Yep.
So, yeah.
But I think at least Chadwell, they're ranked. Hugh Freeze has Liberty ranked. Like, they've won enough where they could be an option. Not like Dave Doran and Greg Schiano, where they haven't won anything.
Right. No, well, Jamie Chadwell, I think he went 5-7 last year. He did beat Kansas. I don't know what that means to you, but his first year, he beat him this year. He's beat him 2 years in a row. Yeah,
Kansas is terrible.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying.
Poor Les Miles.
So Butch Jones at Cincinnati went 4-8, 10-3, 9-3. So,
yeah,
for what it's worth. I'm not saying Butch Jones is a good coach. I'm not saying the hire was great or bad. He also won the Liberty Bowl. His second year at Cincinnati, and then they went to the Belk Bowl his third year. He didn't coach in that game because he was at Tennessee. So, I don't hate the up-and-comer route, but I don't like that those shouldn't be your first phone calls, I don't think.
Correct, yes.
Especially when I'm not saying you come here at all. I don't think he would, but like someone mentioned Bob Stoops. Why would you not call him?
Yeah.
Like, what's it going to hurt for him to say no to you?
Hey, Bob, what you doing?
Yeah. You tired of the XFL yet?
Or, Duke.
David
Cutcliffe, yeah. I mean,
my fear with Cutcliffe, and I know he's at Duke. It's just like, and a lot of people said Ole Miss should have been more patient with him, but it's just like, what? How much could he win as your head coach?
I mean, he's got to be, at least it's a phone call.
You'd get Arch, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you make a phone call and just be like, hey, man.
I mean, he is close with Phil Fulmer.
Or maybe as an OC. I don't know if he would do that.
I don't know either, especially seeing how it went with.
But, I mean, we could probably pay him just as much as he's making at Duke.
I would hope. I don't know how much he's making.
I don't either.
I don't know. My only thing with Cutcliffe is my same thing I say about Leach and I say about Gundy. It's like you gotta win big games. Like if you're gonna get hired from those jobs where you've already gotten an opportunity, you have to have won big games for me.
Yep.
That's my only thing. That's it. That's my only take on that. And Cutcliffe's had opportunity to win big games. He's been in the ACC for. He's been there for what, 8-9 years now? Longer than that.
At least he can develop a quarterback.
So I'd like to. I don't know. Just go win, Jeremy Pruitt, so we don't ever have to talk about this.
Exactly.
Just go win.
Be successful.
I don't want a coaching search. I'm not a fan that wants. I don't like coaching searches. Don't do it.
It would pass the time.
We'd have a great time. We'd have a fantastic time. I just don't want to do it.
If we didn't have sports, at least we'd have that to talk about.
Exactly. But I don't want to do it. I'm out. I'm out on coaching searches. All right, most important of the week.
Most important, Samford men's basketball program.
Okay.
Halftime, Greenville, Illinois, 102-50. Final, 174-99.
Wait, what?
That was a halftime score. Final score, 174-99.
Dude, good for Greenville.
They put some points up too.
Yeah, you gotta. So is that like that Division III school where they just shoot a three every time they come down the court?
I don't know. I guess.
Interesting.
I don't hate it. But 174 points.
That's too many points. Who had the over in that game? Who had the over? Okay, most important. First one. Jarrett Patterson from Buffalo. 8 touchdowns, 409 yards, back-to-back 300 rushing yard games. He's a real deal. Landon likes him a lot.
I do. I've watched a lot of Maction. And Buffalo, they run the football a lot, but they also hit the over.
They run the ball well.
Yeah.
Really well. Really, really well. So, that's important.
And then I have... a Darnell Rogers. He's a guard for University of Maryland and Baltimore County. UMBC, they are
Virginia.
They are the Retrievers. They did beat Virginia as the 16 seed. Darnell Rogers is 5'2", 150, averaging 14 points per game.
I saw that. I didn't realize he played for the UMBC Retrievers.
Freaking buckets.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it, baby.
Some dog in him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. My next one. Marcus and Markeith Morris. Did you see this?
I didn't.
They've been sharing bank accounts for years and still do today. The difference now, though, Marcus, he's on a 4-year, $64 million deal. Markeith is on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. So Markeith, he's got that bank account looks good to him. He's barely doing any of the work. Shout out to Markeith.
That's a good brother.
Get that stay at home brother pay.
That's a great brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I got for most important.
Yeah, I think that's all I got too. Fail.
I
got Matthew Adams first. I guess he got excited about that Logan Paul boxing match. Is Jake or Logan? Which one?
Jake.
Jake Paul boxing match. He said last night he tweeted, "When I retire from the NFL, I'm picking up the boxing gloves. #heavy hitter." Matthew Adams also got ejected today for throwing a punch.
Nice.
Little ahead of the game. Hadn't retired yet. Got a little A little excited.
Just getting prepared, I guess.
Exactly.
Good for him. The Cowboys. Tennessee fans would hate to hear this, bring up some bad memories, but the Cowboys had to call a timeout because they had not 12, not 13, but 14 men on the field.
How does that happen, man?
14 men.
I just needed somebody to score a touchdown in that game, though, so I'm happy. Thank you for the free $25, DK.
Appreciate it.
I'll say your name next time if you want a sponsorship.
You got any more, Phils?
Yeah, I do. NFL, Broncos, pick, I don't care, whoever. But, okay, this might have been most important because I love this. But they had to start a practice squad wide receiver, Kendall Hinton from Wake Forest. So they had to start today. They wanted to start an assistant coach, an offensive quality control coach who played quarterback at Central Florida. But the NFL wouldn't let him.
Oh, it's a little Blake Bortles action. UCF.
Yes. Didn't he play for the Broncos at one point? Did he get traded? I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, where's Blake? Where's Blake at?
Where is he? I know he went to L.A. for a while. Bought a Tesla.
I feel bad that the Broncos had to play because, first of all, they went against the Saints, who have a great defense and some weapons on offense. They don't have a quarterback either.
Why did the NFL let them play? Why would they want them to put that product on the field? So stupid.
It was terrible.
Blake Bortles does play for the Broncos right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he was sent home, I guess, with the rest of the quarterbacks. Dude, what a crappy situation.
Did they just go and be like, hey, who can play quarterback Sunday?
Well,
also, why is that the game of the week?
I don't know.
You can't move the times, really?
I have no clue.
I mean, who the heck wants to watch that?
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have been a good game anyways. Regardless of if there's a quarterback or not.
Right. So my next is Syracuse. Pick Syracuse to win this game. Late. Like a third quarter, I was like, Syracuse is coming back.
You felt it?
I felt it. They're on the 15-ish yard line. A couple seconds to go. Or it was third and goal.
Mm-hmm.
Threw a pass or took a sack on third down.
Oh, nice. Smart.
Everybody comes up to the line, spikes it on fourth down.
I did see that.
Ball game.
I saw your tweet about it.
How does that happen?
The only other time I've seen that happen, one time in my life, was in powder puff football. And it also won the other team the game. Obviously, you're spiking it to stop the clock. Won the other team the game.
I'm just like, dude, this is Power 5 college football.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
Yikes.
I just get that assistant that was like, don't spike it. He's like, I was telling you not to spike it because it was the fourth down, not because it was a bad decision in terms of like, he was like, run the field goal unit out there. No.
Yeah.
Not because he thought you shouldn't try to stop the clock, because it was fourth down.
And like a field goal wouldn't have done anything.
Oh,
you had to score.
Oh, you had to line up and go.
Yeah, so it was just like
How much time was left when they spiked it?
13 seconds.
What the? That's plenty of time.
Yeah,
You're probably snapping the ball with a second left. But that's
they
plenty
literally
of time.
like spiked it to try to run another play.
You could have gotten a full play call in and ran a play.
Oh yeah,
you couldn't have audibled at the line of scrimmage, but you could have ran a full play.
But the quarterback was like so dead set on getting everybody set and spikes. The receivers are just like, "What do we run? What do we run? Why did you do that?"
Like I said, fake spike it.
Yeah, it's a great play.
That's my favorite play. My favorite play. I think the Redskins ran. Speaking of my favorite plays, I think the Redskins ran a fumble rooski on Thanksgiving.
Did they?
I think they did. You can't put the ball on the ground anymore or whatever, but they like handed it to the running back that was hiding behind the tackle.
Oh,
I
did see that.
Yeah.
Who was that?
I can't remember. There was the Redskins, but I don't remember who on the Red. Sorry. The W word Redskins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who though.
It wasn't Gibson. It was like a little guy.
Yeah. Because he broke the huddle and stayed behind him. So, yeah. You got anything else?
That's all I got.
Awesome. Well, guys, we appreciate y'all listening to the show. Had a great time as always. Make sure you come back on Wednesday. We'll preview the Florida game. Sorry, with passion. We'll preview the Florida game.
Yes. With passion.
Woo! Like Rocky Top. I'm a big fan of Woo and Rocky Top. Big fan of it.
Dude, I haven't worn my victory cap in a long time.
I don't know. It's been sitting up there. It probably has dust on it.
It probably does. It doesn't have enough passion.
It does not have any passion.
That's all we got. We're bringing the boat in, hopefully with more passion. And we out.